So during the course of this offseason, there are going to be a lot of questions asked about the various position battles that the Alabama Crimson Tide will have, especially revolving around the quarterback position, which is to be expected. It's only natural that the quarterback position would herald the most questions, especially when you're moving on from Bryce Young. And as legitimate as all of those conversations and questions will be, and as much as we are going to have them, today I wanted to turn our attention to the defensive side of the ball, because there's a position battle that's going to happen there that I cannot wait to see. One, I think will be incredibly impactful to the Alabama Crimson Tide. And of course, today we're going to be breaking down the position battle for that inside linebacker room, something I can't wait to talk about. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited to see how the inside linebacker battle plays out? And then give me your duo. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions are massive to content creators such as myself, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And there's going to be a lot of new faces around the Alabama Crimson Tide during the course of the 2023 season. And for us to really begin having this conversation about the inside linebacker room, we first have to have a conversation at the new face that will be coaching the inside linebacker room, and that's Austin Armstrong. Previously, defensive coordinator Pete Golding was the inside linebacker coach, and now it's going to be Austin Armstrong. And this is going to be something I'm interested to see how that affects the inside linebacker production during the course of the 2023 season. Armstrong is heralded as an up-and-comer in college football. Someone who, if you listen to coaches around the game, they talk about him as being a brilliant mind on the defensive side of the ball. And furthermore, whenever we did our dedicated Austin Armstrong video, I broke down some of the stops he had been at, and you can see a statistical increase in production at the inside linebacker position pretty much everywhere he's gone. So I think it's an intriguing hire, and I am really curious to see what positive results this will yield. And especially when we start talking about the depth of talent that Alabama has at the inside linebacker position. Because though there's not a lot of experience, there is a lot of intriguing talent, and this is where we need to turn this conversation now. Who will be the two guys to take the reins of that position? A position that's so important not only to Alabama's defense, but college football defenses in particular. I mean, you're talking about the signal caller of your defense, so this is a position group that you need to make sure you got the right guys at. Well, luckily for the Alabama Crimson Tide, what they lack in experience, they make up for in talent. So let's go through the names that will be vying for this position group and then kind of talk about them. The first name we're going to throw out is the name that probably all of you, if you've already commented the two guys you would like to see, which, by the way, comment that down below. I can't wait to see what y'all are thinking. Probably the first name all of you commented, and that's Deontay Lawson, and deservedly so. Look, anytime there's been an opportunity for someone to come off the bench in relief of either To'o or Jalen Moody, it was Deontay Lawson. And every single time we've seen him play, he plays very well. I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. He is clearly an incredibly athletic individual, someone that the coaching staff has a lot of faith in because, like I said, he was the first guy off the bench, and I think the future is very bright for him. Furthermore, coming out of high school, this was a top 100 prospect in the nation, coming in specifically at number 52 overall. And I know, what they did in high school does not matter, but I am just trying to paint the picture of how well Alabama has been able to stack talent at this position group, and it makes it just another reason why it's so intriguing, the battle that we will see. The next name on the list we need to talk about is Jahad Campbell, someone who is a true freshman this past season, and when we look, coming out the class of 2022, he was one of the most intriguing athletes, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but in the entirety of the 2022 class. Whenever we break down his high school career, he started as an edge guy, moved to inside linebacker when he got to IMG, and whenever he went to the camp cycles, he was lighting it up, both at inside and outside. So this is a dude that has got a ton of ability, and actually during the course of the Kansas State game, he played very well. He and Deontay Lawson would be an incredibly energetic duo because of the athletic ability they bring to the table. And that's why I think a lot of people are going to be listing these two right here, and I can understand why. We saw what Campbell was able to do during the course of that Kansas State bowl game. I think it's very apparent he is a gifted player. But so too is the next name on this list, Kendrick Blackshire, who coming out of high school took all college football fans by storm when his pictures went viral because he looked like a grown man playing high school football in Duncanville. And Blackshire is someone we've seen make plays on special teams. And one thing we know about that Alabama inside linebacker room is a lot of those guys started off on special teams making plays there. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that guarantees Kendrick Blackshire to be a starting inside linebacker. What I am saying is that we do know he has playmaker ability. That much is abundantly clear. Or how about someone else who, like Jahad Campbell this previous season, was a true freshman, and like Campbell, we got to see them during the Kansas State game, and that's Sean Murphy. And Sean Murphy is a very gifted prospect, someone who, if you listen to a lot of the camp setting guys during the course of his recruiting class, they were over the moon about his ability. A lot of people thought this was a guy that was massively underrated, and I don't mean a lot of Alabama people thought that. I mean a lot of people around the recruiting industry felt Sean Murphy was underrated, and I think he has got a very bright future ahead of him. And keeping with the theme of the young guys, what about a true freshman, Quay Russaw, who, if you look at the 24/7 Sports website, they list him as an edge. Personally, I think he's going to be an inside linebacker and be a force to be reckoned with at the inside linebacker group. And even though I think he is incredibly gifted, it's going to be tough passing up some of these dudes on this depth chart because not only are they gifted as well, they have experience, and that experience could prove to be very important. Another new name, Justin Jefferson, the number 2 JUCO player in all of college football, making his way to the Alabama Crimson Tide. And if you turn on the tape of Justin Jefferson, this is an athletic, aggressive linebacker. And Justin Jefferson's sideline-to-sideline speed is exactly what college football teams are looking for at that inside linebacker position. However, in Justin Jefferson's case, I don't think he diminishes any physicality. He is a willing tackler, someone that's willing to put his head in there. That's exactly what Alabama needs, because they need to bring that air of physicality back to this room. How about 2 more names on this list? First and foremost, Ian Jackson, someone who hails from the state of Alabama, and when you watch their tape, this was someone who many around the recruiting circles thought he could end up playing college football at a secondary level, maybe being a safety because of his athletic ability. Now, lo and behold, he's ended up as a linebacker, but that type of athletic ability, that type of versatility is exactly what college football teams are looking for in inside linebackers. I just got done talking about Justin Jefferson's sideline-to-sideline speed, and the reason that's so key is how these offenses are trying to mix up routes with running backs and tight ends, getting those guys matched up on linebackers and hoping that linebacker just flat out can't cover my guy. And in a lot of instances, they're 100% right. But that's exactly why you're seeing more linebackers be way more proficient in the passing game, have that sideline-to-sideline speed. And last but certainly not least, Alabama looked in the transfer portal to add another name to strengthen in this battle, being Tresman Marshall coming from Georgia. And Marshall was a top 150 prospect coming out of high school football, and he brings a lot of physicality to this battle. Once again, exactly what Alabama needs. And that need for physicality, that's not something relegated simply to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Far from it. If you actually look at defenses across college football right now, that's an interesting conversation they're having in a lot of rooms. Do we go with more old school linebackers who are physical, hard-nosed, run-stuffing guys, or do we transition to the more modern style of linebacking where you have to be able to run sideline to sideline, you have got to be quick, you have got to be light on your feet, and you have got to be a fast decision maker? The answer is you hope you get someone who can do both. It's just hard to find those guys. Luckily, I think Alabama might have a few, but the big question is, who do you think wins this battle? But I can't wait to see this. This is going to be a position battle on the defensive side of the football that I think is going to be so important, and I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.